All right, so this is the ultimate guide to lead generation with YouTube specifically. So I myself have generated thousands, maybe even tens of thousands, or getting up there close to like six figures in leads from YouTube for various different products, and especially if you count helping my clients. And so there are certain ways of generating leads for YouTube that are much more effective than others, and we're going to go through those. But before we do that, let's just talk about lead generation in general and the different types of lead generation. So first of all, what exactly is a lead? A lead is essentially somebody that you can contact. Now, what is a good lead? Somebody that you can contact that is very likely to be able to buy your product, right? So that's pretty much it. So we're going to be talking about generating good leads, okay? And there are basically three main strategies. And basically you've got like outbound and inbound. So cold outreach and paid ads are both outbound strategies. So you go out there and you find the leads. It's kind of like hunting, right? You're hunting versus farming. So content creation would be inbound, and it would be like farming because they're coming to you, right? So you're making content, people are discovering the content, and then they're coming to you. So they're much warmer, they're more familiar with you, they know, like, and trust you. And so it's a lot easier to do it. And then cold outreach is more, outbound because you are cold emailing, you're cold calling, you're cold DMing people. And then paid ads, of course, you're running paid ads, you're reaching out to them using the paid ads. So of course that would be outbound as well. Now, in terms of the order that you should do these in, definitely paid ads would be last, without a doubt. Okay, paid ads, very hard to make work, especially when you're new. However, paid ads can be incredibly good to scale what you already have. Once you've already proven that it works, paid ads can be incredibly good to scale it. Now, you have a lot of gurus out here saying that, oh, you should do paid ads first just to test it and blah, blah, blah. And the type of audience you're going to attract with paid ads and the type of VSL that you have to make with paid ads and the type of funnel in general is totally different than the type of funnel that you would make with any other type, even cold outreach, right? So you can't even use the same funnel with paid ads that you do with cold outreach or content creation, especially content creation, because people are already familiar with you when you're doing content creation. And so you can use a different type of funnel, right? You don't have to explain yourself as much. Whereas with paid ads, your VSL has to be absolutely on point because we're talking about a completely cold audience. So let's go over these three and why content creation, in my opinion, is the best one. A lot of people start with cold outreach. I would argue that you should actually start with content creation. I think that it's best to start with content creation, then do cold outreach, and then do paid ads. And in some cases, you can just skip cold outreach altogether, right? But content creation, the reason why this one is the best is because it actually helps the other two, right? So if you're running paid ads or you're doing cold outreach to people and they're going to look you up, right? They're going to find you online. In fact, if you're doing, email marketing, it's a good idea to actually have your information in the email itself so that they can just easily find you and click on it. And we've actually tested this out. And even with a small social media presence, it's going to increase your ROAS by about 30%. Now, if you have a large social media presence, it can increase it by as much as 100 to 300%, which is pretty incredible. And then same thing with cold outreach. It significantly increases your chances of them actually responding to you, getting on a call with you, and then buying. So let's talk about why YouTube is key for lead generation. So focusing on YouTube for lead generation can be broken down into several effective strategies. By focusing on YouTube for lead generation can be broken down into several different effective strategies. So basically, there's a few different ways that you can collect leads and get people on the phone with you and get their email. The first one is pretty simple. It's a direct call to action to a VSL, video sales letter. Now, of course, you could do a direct call to action to just a normal landing page, but that doesn't really work as nearly as well as a VSL. VSL is without a doubt the way to go. Video sales letter, in case you're not familiar with this, is basically just a video that explains your product, explains the vehicle that the product is taking, what problems it solves for them, what benefits it gives them, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a straightforward and highly effective method. It involves getting prospects to watch a VSL and then inviting them to a phone call where you can qualify and potentially close the sale. Now, one cheeky little way that you can do this that is actually working relatively well, surprisingly, is you can actually just post a Calendly link and then just book a one-on-one call. Now, you want to do questions on the Calendly link. Now, I'll just give you an example. So I'm in the middle of this 30-day challenge that I'm doing, and I'm about 18, 19 days in to this 30-day challenge. And I'll show you guys what I was using because I decided to kind of handicap myself, basically. And I've already gotten to 1,000 subscribers, but I'll show you guys what I was using here. I'll just go to my newest video here. So basically, I was just using a Calendly link. Okay, so I was just using this Calendly link. It would ask them some questions, some basic questions. Yeah, I'm actually out of time slots as well. Don't even have time slots right now. So yeah, I was basically just using a Calendly link, and yeah, that's how many people were booking calls. So that's too bad that I'm out of time slots because I can't show you guys the questions. But yeah, it's just very basic questions. You guys can check it out, and yeah, just qualifying them, seeing if they are a good fit, and if they are not a good fit, then they don't get to book a call. If they are a good fit, they do get to book a call. It's pretty much that simple. And so you can even make it just that ridiculously simple. And of course, you're not going to get as many calls. You're not going to get as many conversions that way. But it actually works kind of well because it's less salesy. It's just like, hey, book a call with me, right? Like, it's not like a big VSL where you have to watch a video and all that kind of thing. It actually works weirdly well. And it's really good for just collecting data. Right? It's really good for just basically getting paid to do market research. So you can do something that simple. Now, of course, doing a proper VSL is definitely the way to go. So you guys can kind of check out my VSL, thecontentgrowthengine.com/home. This is my B2C VSL because I do work with like B2C as well as B2B. Typically, I actually work with B2B, but this is my B2C VSL. And yeah, you guys can check this out. These can be highly, highly effective. And then when they want to apply for the call, they would go through and do all these questions. So yeah, it's let me actually just show you guys my questions here. Okay, so what does your current YouTube channel currently look like? How are you making money? What is your target monthly revenue? What is stopping you from hitting your target monthly revenue? What is your phone number? Asking for the international code. Through which platform was this call booked? What is your current monthly income? How willing and able are you to invest in the growth of your YouTube channel and business? How soon do you want to start growing your YouTube channel? And then leave a link to your Instagram handle, your Facebook page, or your Twitter handle, whichever one you use the most, right? So those are the questions. And yeah, it's actually relatively effective, but of course, doing a proper VSL is the way to go. And honestly, if you're just going to do one of them, probably just go ahead and do the VSL. Very simple, works pretty freaking well. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So the second way that you can get leads from YouTube is using a lead magnet. Now, with all of these guys, by the way, when you do your call to action, you need to do a strong call to action, okay? Make sure that it is a strong call to action. So you want to be like, click the link down in the description in the pinned comment below. You literally tell them what to do, okay? You don't just assume that they know, oh, you can book a call down below or whatever. Or you can book a call, it'll be in the description. Tell them, click the link in the description to book a call. And you guys can't do that, right? If you want to book a call with me, click the link in the description. Hopefully by the time this post, I'll actually have some time slots available. But yeah, that's what you want to do. Very strong call to action. With the lead magnet, click the link in the description to get my free 7-step guide to growing and making money on YouTube, that kind of thing, right? So basically, that is kind of the way to go. Now, I guess I should explain here with the VSL guys. Calendly is really good for doing this. They can book a call with you using Calendly. It's also really easy to set up. When it comes to the lead magnet, you can use a bunch of different softwares. A lot of people start off with like MailChimp because it's free up to 1,000 subscribers. But basically, you're going to give them a lead magnet. It's going to be something valuable. It's going to be something easy to consume. One thing I've seen with the lead magnets, guys, is if you're doing a service type business, you can do a lead magnet that's a little more complicated, and you actually want to make it complicated. And the reason for that is because you're doing it for them, right? You're doing the work for them, and so it actually helps you to make the work look complicated. However, if you have a coaching business or an info product business, typically you want the lead magnets to be quick and easy to consume, and it's just like a quick win. It solves a problem very quickly for them, okay? You don't want it to be like some kind of ultimate guide or anything like that. You want it to be like a very quick win. Something where, you know, you can solve a problem with them for them very, very quickly and easily. Okay, so that's like a pro tip on the lead magnets, because I've tested out dozens of different lead magnets. If you're an info product or a coaching space, make your lead magnet very quick, something that they can consume in less than an hour easily, right? And also make it easy. Don't make it complicated. Just a few quick wins, maybe just one quick win for them. Solve one tiny little problem that they have that is part of the bigger problem that they have, right? So you're basically offering something valuable for free in exchange for the prospect's email address. Now, like I said, you can collect their email address using MailChimp. I personally use ActiveCampaign. There's a lot of different email providers out there. MailChimp is it's like free at first, and it's pretty easy to use. MailerLite is also very easy to use, and it's relatively affordable. So yeah, there's a lot of different ones out there you can use. A lot of people start with MailChimp because it's free. This method requires a strong email marketing skills, right? To manage and nurture your email list effectively, because if you're capturing emails and then you're not actually sending any messages to them, you're basically just wasting like the emails that you capture, because they're eventually going to forget about you. And then they're going to be very unlikely to open your email and read your email when you eventually do send it to them. I've made this mistake before where I captured, tens of thousands of emails, and then I just didn't have time to send them any emails. And then the list was, I wouldn't say it's dead, but it's not very effective, right? So there's this thing called top of mind in email marketing, and that's where you need to consistently send emails so that you stay at the top of mind of your prospect, right? And so it's very important if you're doing email marketing to consistently send them emails, at least like one a week. And so lead magnets can be very effective, and giving stuff away for free is a great way to you're basically buying goodwill, right? And there's a lot of different forms of value out there. Money is not the only form of value. And honestly, goodwill compounds a lot faster than money does. You saw how fast Alex Hormozi grew by not selling you anything, but of course he was actually selling you something if you were his target demographic, because he was investing in people's businesses, and which he benefits from tremendously. So he absolutely was selling some people something. And then, of course, now he's promoting school. So he's definitely selling you something now. But you saw how fast he grew because he was doing everything for free, and he was making really, really good content, right? So goodwill compounds faster than money. And so giving people stuff for free, man, if you give people enough free value, the moment you decide to actually sell something, you are gonna absolutely crush it, right? So lead magnets are never a bad idea. A lot of really experienced marketers I know just stick with like lead magnets. They're just all about lead magnets, right? Another very effective method for selling on YouTube is live webinars. Now, one thing I will mention about the lead magnet thing, this is something that's a little harder to pull off, but sometimes you can sell a low ticket product and you can actually sell that off of YouTube. So it could be as low as $1, literally like $1 a month, or $7 a month, or $37, or $67 or $97, just like a low ticket product, and then you upsell them to the higher ticket product. right? You upsell them to your service, your coaching program, that kind of thing. So that's something that it's not technically a lead magnet, but it's, it's kind of similar. So along the same line. And those clients are much more likely to buy your stuff because they actually bought something from you. They're not just freebie seekers, because you will get a lot of freebie seekers when you give out a lot of free lead magnets, unfortunately. Now, live webinars. Live webinars are super, super effective as well, guys. I went to a mastermind. I paid $50,000 to be at this mastermind. And there was a guy there making $3 million a month, another guy making $1 million, actually several different people making $1 million a month. They were crushing it. And both of those guys were doing weekly live webinars, not pre-recorded webinars, guys. You can do pre-recorded webinars if you want, but this is not the most effective way, okay? It really isn't. What really, really works is live webinars. They convert so much better. You might get like 10% of people on a sales call that attend a live webinar, whereas if it's a pre-recorded webinar, you're probably only going to get like maybe 1 or 2%. So it's like 5 to 10 times more effective to do a live webinar. It's like an hour a week, right? It literally takes you an hour a week. Just do it. So host weekly webinars where you provide valuable content. At the end of the webinar, pitch your services and invite attendees to a phone call. This method is highly engaging and can lead to a high conversion rate. So I'm sure everybody knows what a lead magnet is. I mean, there's tons of lead magnets on the internet. I'm going to show you guys a really good example of a live webinar. This is one of my clients, and he's absolutely crushing it. His name is Felix and Friends. And so he does he makes about $1 million a month, and he does the weekly webinars. So, I'll just click on this really quickly. You can see it. I think his webinar is going to be tomorrow, I believe. And yeah, how to use options to earn consistent income in 4 hours per week, the Dummy's Guide to Trading, my 3-step trading plan, plus watch me trade live. And then you just fill in this information and you attend the webinar. And it's that simple. So basically, he just goes over 3 very simple steps, and then he pitches them, and then he does a Q&A session. So it's like an hour, hour and a half max. And guys, these live webinars are super, super effective. Can't tell you how effective they are. Now, again, if you're only going to do one of these 3, I would just do the direct call to action. Just be direct, get people on a phone call. Don't, be indirect about it, because both of these methods are kind of indirect, right? Instead of just asking the girl out, you're kind of like, oh, we should study together. We should hang out, that kind of thing, right? At the end of the day, like, the direct method it's just simpler. And so therefore it's just easier to pull off, right? You're just being direct about it. You're not trying to like pretend like you're giving them free value and then you're actually just trying to sell them, don't get me wrong, like, indirect is great too, and you'll capture a larger market size with indirect. But when you're first starting, there's people that are just ready to buy. So you might as well just be direct with them and be like, yeah, I have something to sell you. Are you ready to buy? So if you're going to just do one of them, do this one right here. These 2 also work incredibly well. And let's talk about some other methods you can do. So additional methods, less effective, but worth considering. Free groups. Create a community on platforms like Facebook, Telegram, or WhatsApp. This method involves a significant amount of effort to manage and keep the group engaged, but it can be effective in the long run. Another one is, of course, Discord. There's lots of free groups on Discord. I do have a free community on Facebook for my B2C clients, mostly, people who want to grow YouTube that are B2C. And yeah, it's okay. It's good. It's good if you use this in conjunction with the live webinar, right? And also the lead magnets. Just like at the end of the lead magnet, or with the live webinar, whenever someone signs up for a live webinar, tell them to join your free group, right? And then you can just kind of remind them over and over again. You'll get more people showing up, and you'll also get a little bit more engagement, and you'll stay top of mind, right? So you might as well do it. The only thing that sucks about it is you have to create content for it, which definitely sucks, right? Because you gotta stay engaged, you got to keep it going. It's just another thing that you got to do. It doesn't take that long, but it's just an annoyance, right? And then another one is appointment setting via social media. Now, this one is not so effective on YouTube. In fact, you basically have to use other platforms. This is probably the one downside of YouTube, is that you can't actually message your subscribers. Maybe that'll change someday, but you can send your subscribers to a different platform such as Instagram, and then you can directly message them and engage with your prospects. And this method is personal and it helps build relationships before pitching a call. So this is basically where, you have people that follow you on Instagram, you might message them there. You have people that engage with your posts on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you might message them there. And then just basically ask them some questions, qualify them a little bit, maybe give them some value, and then get them on a sales call, right? That is pretty effective for other platforms, not quite as effective on YouTube. However, you can use it in conjunction with other platforms such as Instagram. Instagram is quite good for that, and you can make really good money doing that. Then you've got paid groups. So basically, this is kind of what I was talking about before. Kind of falls under the same category. A lot of the times people will actually do this in conjunction with paid ads. So it'll be kind of like a self-liquidating funnel. So you basically will be, doing these paid groups, and you might be losing money or you might be breaking even on the ad up front. But then on the back end, you're going to be upselling them to a higher ticket product. So basically, a low ticket group, maybe $20 to $50 a month, provides some initial value, possibly including a course. And you use this group as a stepping stone to upsell to your higher ticket coaching programs, right? So that is relatively effective as well. The thing about, a lead that actually pays you money is they're much, much more likely to buy your higher ticket product because they've already bought from you. So then, like a free lead magnet type of person. Then you've got a service lead magnet. So this is actually pretty effective, but it's also a lot of work. And this is where you offer a free personalized service like an SEO audit, for instance, if you do SEO, that requires some effort. It actually requires some effort and time from either you or your team, somebody who has expertise, but it provides significant value. And this approach is highly effective, but also time consuming. Now, let's talk about how YouTube enhances other methods. So one of the best things about YouTube is how it integrates with other lead generation methods. So it boosts your paid ads because basically people will find you from the paid ad, but then they'll look you up, right? And YouTube is a super powerful tool to get them to know, like, and trust you. And it's going to make it much more likely that you actually make money. So even with a small audience, you're going to boost your ROAS by like 30%. And then with a large audience and really dialed in content, you can boost it by as much as 300%. So really, really good stuff there. Then same thing with retargeting and cold outreach. I don't have as much data for that because it's a little harder to track. But it definitely boosts the amount of people who actually decide to book a call for you, with you and actually buy. So basically, you can do retargeting ads for people who visit your YouTube channel, and then also for cold outreach. So a strong YouTube presence also boosts your credibility, making cold outreach efforts effective. Now, one thing that is really something that can work in conjunction with each other is you make content and then you retarget people who visit your landing page on YouTube as well as Facebook. This is something that one of my clients did who went from 100K per month to 850K per month in about 6-month period or so. That's what he did. He was doing a lot of retargeting ads and he was absolutely crushing it. And to sum it up, YouTube is a powerful tool for lead generation. In fact, I'd say it's the most powerful tool. And it not only works well on its own, but it also enhances the effectiveness of paid ads and cold outreach. And the most effective strategies include direct calls to action, lead magnets, and webinars, while other methods like free and paid groups or service lead magnets can also provide value with a bit more effort, right? So just an example of the service lead magnet, if you are not booking any calls at all, you might as well do a service lead magnet, right? Just because it's super attractive to somebody. Like, yeah, I'm just going to give you a free audit. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do, that kind of thing. And yeah, it's just super attractive if you do some kind of service for them. But it's also extremely time consuming. So that is the guide, guys. This is how it's done. This is lead generation with YouTube. I just saved you a ton of time. Stick to these 3 right here. If you're only going to do one, just do a direct call to action to a video sales letter. When it comes to the video sales letters, guys, you actually don't, especially if you're doing B2B or you're advertising to a sophisticated audience, your VSLs don't have to be super fancy. I'll just give you guys kind of an example. So this is my friend. Okay, so this is a $48,000 mastermind, and this is his lead magnet, guys. It's a Loom video, and it's a 6-minute Loom video. So he literally just says what the deliverables are on a Google Doc, and then he just talks about it. That's it, and it's 6 minutes. So you don't need to make super fancy VSLs, guys. Like simple VSLs work. You can just be direct and straightforward. This works especially well with a B2B audience or a sophisticated audience. People that basically like know that you're going to be selling them something. They're not a dummy, and you don't need to use any like indirect methods. You can just be very direct with them and tell them exactly what you're going to do for them. This kind of thing actually works pretty dang well. Is it as good as the super highly produced VSL? No, it's not quite as good. But it also doesn't take like 100 hours to make or 50 hours to make like a super highly produced VSL. So yeah, guys, I'm just, I hope this gave you some value. I hope this is how it's actually done. I've worked with a ton of people. These are the ones that work in different niches. Different ones work better. You kind of just have to test these out, but this is the one that's going to work in every niche. These work in almost every niche, and you can also test these out.